Today, my friends, I'm with the Raymond Keene, OBE, and he is the chairman of the Tony Buzan group. That's why I would like to introduce you. He's the master of the chess as well. That's why I would like to meet you with him. And I would like to ask some questions to him. If someone would like to improve their brain, what should they begin for the young ages? What do you suggest for us, for our children?
I think the first most important thing, and the element that Tony Buzan himself placed the most emphasis on, is memory, because memory is the building block for everything else. Without memory, you can't learn, you can't retain the information that's important. So when you go to school, if you don't know how to remember what you're told, you can't progress. So memory is the first thing, and then mind mapping and speed reading, and of course we're here at the mind mapping and speed reading world championships, they can follow. But the first thing to do is to get some grip on how to memorize basic facts. And Tony wrote many books on this. He founded the World Memory Championship. He had simple tips for being able to memorize stuff. He explained how memory works. So for example, if you're given a list of 10 things to remember, and it starts off with butter and then salt and bread, and then Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then cabbage, and then beetroot, and then sugar. It's easy to remember the first thing in the list. It's called the primacy effect, and it's easy to remember the last thing in the list. It's called the recency effect. And it's also easier to remember something very unusual somewhere in the middle, like a Tyrannosaurus Rex in a list of groceries. And that's called the von Restorff effect. And if you understand this, it's much easier to remember the whole list, because you know you're going to remember the first one, you know you're going to remember the last one, and you know you're going to remember anything that stands out. So you just need to fill in the gaps. And you can start off with 5 things, and then 10 things, and then 20 things. And eventually, I'm not saying that little kids should do this, but the champions, they build this up to thousands of things that they can remember. But if you're starting at school, learn how to memorize 5 things in a list, and then 10 things. And it makes it much easier to absorb the lessons you're taught at school. So that's the first thing. The building block of everything is the ability to memorize.